Do you ever look in the mirror and wonder where you came from? Do you ever try and picture the story that led to you standing there? Growing up, I always loved listening to my grandma talk about her mother and how she came to America. It always amazed me that a woman of only 18 would travel across an ocean on a ship all by herself in the hopes that when she reached the other side, she would have a chance at a whole new life. On the ship, a sailor tattooed a heart with a dagger going through it on her arm. Little did I know, the tattoo was actually incredibly significant. Grandma always told me her mother was a stubborn Finn. She refused to speak English if she could help it. The first thing I learned to say in Finnish was "Minä rakastan sinua, sue-äiti," which means "I love you, Grandma." My grandma and I have always had a close relationship. We love to laugh, and we always seem to catch each other doing the dumbest things that no one else sees. It's so special for me to have such a close connection with my grandma. She is my closest link to the family history. I used to translate letters from Finnish to English so she could keep in touch with a family in Finland who moved to Sweden. I always knew we had family in Finland and Sweden, but never knew how they were related or why we were here and they were there. I asked Grandma one day, and she told me her mother had a child when she arrived in New York, and the father of the child wanted to go back to Finland and took the child with him. That was the story we knew about Hannah coming to America. My grandma had a half-sister who grew up in Finland. But I never knew what came before that. Why did Hannah leave Finland? Did she have family there? These were questions we didn't have the answers to. I enlisted my aunt to help me do some research and see if we could find any further evidence of what came before America. We went through hundreds of photos, but we had nothing. We knew it all started with Hannah, and we knew there was family in Sweden and Finland. So I did what anyone on a mission would do. I booked a flight to Sweden. Turns out we aren't a whole lot different. I met the woman who wrote letters to my grandma all those years, Tuulikki, and she became the closest link to our family history. They took me to Finland to see the family there and visit the grave of my grandma's half-sister. To stand by the grave of my grandma's half-sister felt incredible. Her name was Aili. I had a million questions. Luckily, Tuulikki was there to answer them.
Minun äiti on syntynyt Suomessa 1900.
My mother was born in Finland in 1914. Her mother's name was Hannah. Hannah had a relationship with a priest. The priest was married and had 3 to 5 kids. In those days, it was considered very shameful to have a fatherless child, and even more shameful that it was a married priest. After she had the child, it was too shameful for her and the priest, so she decided to go to America. Aili was given to Hannah's mother to take care of. She was only 2 weeks old when Hannah left for America. But Hannah's mother was old and sickly. Aili was only 2 years old when she passed away. Aili was then taken to a marketplace and sold to a farmer to become a maid. As Aili grew up, she was sold 2 additional times into slavery. She worked very hard all of her life. Aili didn't have time to go to school, so when she was a little older, She crammed 4 years of education into just 2 years. That was all the education she ever had. When Aili was an adult, she went to work in Rovaniemi at a sort of hospital where diseased people were kept. The hospital didn't have a water well nearby, so a man hauled water from the river up to the hospital every day, and that was how Aili met her husband. In 1936, Aili bought a sewing machine, and from that day on, a seamstress was her profession, and she was very good. Tuulikki was born in 1938, 2 years later. This is when I realized the significance of Hannah's tattoo. She left all she ever had behind, including a child. Her heart was broken, but still she left. Our family is full of strong women who have always fought through obstacles. After hearing her family legacy and realizing the struggles within, I wanted to represent that, just like Hannah did. A heart and dagger shows Hannah's sacrifice for a new beginning. A yellow flower to represent Sweden, and blue for Finland. The Finnish word sisu, extraordinary determination, courage, and resoluteness in the face of extreme adversity. An action mindset which enables individuals to see beyond their present limitations and into what might be. Hannah embraced this Finnish ideal, and every woman after her has carried it through. There's so much history behind where we come from. It's overwhelming to really process what Tuulikki told me, and I realized that if I hadn't gone to Sweden, I may never have known the true story. Our family is closer now than ever before. With modern technology, we can sit and visit with our family in Sweden and feel like we're in the same room. It means the world to me to have a relationship with the family abroad and to bring a piece of them home to my grandma. Every family has a story. This was ours.